Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be, you can't know where you're going until you know where you've been. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So this expression is completely true, specifically post-narcissistic relationship. And what this means is, when you exited the narcissistic relationship, you had a mountain of work ahead of you. You had to process the relationship. You had to process how you stayed in the relationship. You had to process what you tolerated, what you put up with, things that perhaps you said you never thought you would say, actions you took that you never thought you would take, behaviors that you tolerated and or experienced that you thought were unfathomable. The narcissistic relationship is something unlike you were ever prepared for, because you weren't taught this in school. You entered it because most likely you were and or are an empath, a beautiful individual with so much abundance and beauty to offer this planet. And the narcissists saw this, and they saw it early on. They did their homework on you. They did their reconnaissance, their due diligence, and boom, you entered the narcissistic relationship. Again, could have been a family member, could have been a neighbor, coworker, lover, could have been a friend, could have been somebody in a part of a community or organization which you are and or were a part of. The narcissist is everywhere. But post-narcissistic relationship, that's when you have to do all of the work. That's when you have to really dig within yourself. You have to understand that no one is going to come knock on your door and save you. They're just not. And I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you. I'm just letting you know that this is your path. This is your journey. It's called life. And whereas when you're in the narcissistic relationship, perhaps you did have great times. I'm certain you did. But you also experienced an awful lot of toxic behavior, gaslighting, the silent treatment, the smear campaign, stonewalling, blame shifting, rage fits, word salad. The list goes on and on and on. And all these things, when you were in the relationship, you could not understand what they were. Let's take future faking as an example. This person you were with, perhaps they planned on traveling with you or building a house or getting married or whatever they were planning, or starting a business. But it never quite happened, did it? No, it didn't, because they were future faking. They were trying to string you along, and they were trying to have you work for them. In other words, you to continue to give of yourself and essentially become an extension of them to the detriment of yourself. In other words, you lost yourself. You became somebody you thought you wouldn't become because you exited the narcissistic fog or the devaluation stage once the love bomb / euphoric stage had ended. And this is when you no longer were the flavor of the month. And this is when you were really on that hamster wheel spinning around working for the narcissist. You just didn't know it at the time. What you did know is your resources were being diminished and or depleted, and that you were not having much sleep. You were having sleepless nights, and you were walking around on eggshells, and you were not uncertain of making a basic decision. You just couldn't do it. Why? Because you were second guessing yourself. And this consumed you. Perhaps when you were at work, you were thinking about the narcissist. What are they going to say? What are they going to do? Are they going to be on time? Are they going to be late? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I have my hair look this way? What about the clothes? Who are they going to be with? I don't know. I'm going to text them. Are they going to reply? When they reply, what's that mean? Is there something behind the message? Are they going to be nice to me? Are they going to be Dr. Jekyll? Are they going to be Mr. Hyde? I don't know. See, this is a small example. It's a small, tiny illustration of what the narcissistic relationship does to you. It turns your life upside down. It turns left into right, black into white. You don't know what's going on because you're in the narcissistic fog. And at this point in time, many times it's too late, because you are at a point where you don't want to give up on the relationship. And perhaps you're in the trauma bond, which means that you are now attached to the narcissist, and they know that. And they want to keep you working for them. That's why many people experience future faking and or financial abuse, because they believe that down the road in the future, something good will happen. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is the narcissist will continue to slowly bleed you dry. They will continue to slowly, insidiously take your resources away from you. Now, having said all these things, this was the relationship. And however the relationship ended for you, my heart goes out to you, because if you experienced a toxic narcissistic relationship, it's not good. It's not a polite, let me rephrase that, it's not a loving and or relationship that you want any part of. But getting back on track, you have to know where you were to find out where you're going, where you've been to find out where you're going, because you are going to have to process an awful lot of things. You're going to have to learn the glossary, the definitions, the terms on the narcissistic abusive cycle. You're going to have to put yourself back together. And my hope is that's what you're doing. You see, post-relationship, you are now officially on the healing path. You are on the path with all of us in the community, on the same path, headed in the same direction. You're simply taking different footsteps. Whereas you may be in front of me, or another individual may be behind me, it doesn't really matter. This is your journey. This is your life. You need to put yourself as the priority. You come first, second, and third. You no longer should be concerned with the narcissist. You should no longer be giving them your energy. You should no longer be believing in the false narrative of the mask. Because the narcissist, remember, they leapfrog from person to person, town to town, relationship to relationship, and they blow up every relationship, either because the person, which in this case may have been you, because your resources had expired, because you had no more to give. Perhaps you had fallen on difficult times and your health took a turn for the worse. Maybe your bank account finally hit zero, meaning you have no more money. Maybe the narcissist just got bored because you're no longer a challenge. Yeah, that happens at times too. Remember, the narcissist is always looking for the next shiny thing, the next new object. That's why they don't have stable, healthy relationships. That's why they don't have long-term friends, because they implode every relationship. And when you enter the relationship with the narcissist, many times they know what they're about to do. They know that they see a beauty in you that perhaps you can't see in yourself. And they've identified that perhaps, yes, you are an empath or a kind, loving individual, and you want to create a future. You want to create a family. You want to create a friendship. You want to create a business. You want to be part of the organization. They know this. That's why they weaponize virtually all the information you provide to them about yourself against you at a later date. But getting back on track, you have to know where you've been to find out where you're going, because once you've healed and or you are well on the healing path, you will understand. Let's say when you're on the healing path, slowly, day after day, week after week, month after month, you will be making progress. Once you have gone no contact, blocked the narcissist, removed them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them, this is when things really turn in the favor of you. They sincerely do, because no longer are you waiting for a text back from the narcissist, or waiting for them to call, or waiting for them to knock on your door, or asking them anything, because you understand this person is a toxic individual. So having said that, once you understand where you have been, then you can understand where you're going, because this narcissistic relationship you were in, it was a test. It was a test that you had to pass, and you're doing it, and or you have done it, or you will do it, because this was a challenge. Now, again, when you entered the relationship, you thought you were in a certain kind of relationship, that you both were headed in the same direction. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is that you were giving to a fault. You were putting the narcissist in front of yourself to the detriment of yourself. In other words, you were putting them high on the pedestal, most likely, and you were working for them. That's where the narcissist wants you. But once you get the wisdom, you get the education on channels like mine and many others, and again, thank you very much for being here, that's when the fog begins to lift. That's when you see behind the mask. That's when you become empowered, awakened, aware, and educated, and you understand that, okay, I need to process a whole lot of information about my past in the narcissistic relationship. That period of time is what I'm referring to. And this will not be easy. It will not be fun. It will take you it will be challenging, let's put it that way. And if the relationship ended and you endured the smear campaign, I can assure you it's even more difficult, because your support system, most likely for the most part, has disappeared. This is on purpose by the narcissist, but that's for another video. Once you process this and you understand the relationship, you understand narcissism, you understand how it affected you, you understand that perhaps you were a people pleaser, you didn't know how to say the strongest word in the English language, which is no. Perhaps you put people high on a pedestal, perhaps you were giving to a fault. All of these things, when you understand it, then you can slowly peel yourself away from the toxic relationship, meaning you're already away from it, but you can understand, you can be nicer to yourself. You can take pressure off of yourself. You can understand that you had to go through this relationship to get to this point in time. There was no other way. Remember, on the planet, there's no such thing as a coincidence. You're exactly where you're meant to be right now, no matter what you think. You're meant to be exactly where you are, whether you believe it or not, because if you were meant to be somewhere else, you would be somewhere else. And a coincidence, they don't happen. Everything happens the way it's supposed to unfold, whether you believe that or not. I know it's tough love, but it's real. It took me a lot of time to practice radical acceptance, which is understanding that reality is reality, and there are many things you can't control, but what you can control is where you place your attention. And remember, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And the narcissist knew this, and they had this for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, but no longer do you do that. You now place it within yourself. And when you do that, place your attention and energy into yourself, that's when you can begin to build. That's when you begin to understand that, wait a minute, okay, I was in the relationship. It really did a number on me. I experienced some of the darkest days of my life, but now I'm getting stronger, I'm getting better, I'm feeling better. Maybe I'm ready to go out now. Maybe I'm ready to experience life again, slowly, methodically, in time, in my time. And when you do that, that's when you begin to formulate plans and goals that are about you and your future. Example, maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to take a class or teach a class, read a book or write a book, strike up a new friendship, entertain a new sport. Example, begin walking or exercising again. Or perhaps when you've healed properly, maybe down the road, after you've healed properly, I emphasize after, and I should do a video on this, maybe look for a love interest at a later date. But if the relationship ended for you recently, excuse me, or if you haven't healed properly, I will tell you, you should not be looking for a love interest. That's the last thing you should be doing. Do what you want to do. I'm just giving you wisdom, which is, if you haven't healed properly from the narcissistic relationship, I strongly suggest you do so before you enter the dating pool. That's up for you to decide. But the point being, once you know where you've been, you can know where you're going. That's when the narcissistic fog is officially gone. That's when you don't ruminate. That's when you have your sleep back. That's when you have your power back. That's when you understand your value and that you are a beautiful, bright, shining light. You're an incredible human being. And that being honest and genuine with yourself, you say to yourself, yeah, the narcissist did take advantage of me. They did. They got me. But now they can no longer do that, because I've come through the fire. I've risen through the ashes like a phoenix, and this is now my new superpower. I can now discern who is on my side, or perhaps who isn't. I can decide who I want to spend my time with or who I don't. I can do what I want, when I want, with whom I want. So understanding where you have been, that's huge. That's called going back in time and processing a lot of things, perhaps childhood wounds or past relationships, certainly digesting the narcissistic relationship. And then once you do that properly, and it will take time, believe me, and it will take a lot of inner work. When you do that, then all of a sudden, you enter the third version of yourself, which is the strongest version of yourself possible. That is where the magic happens. That's where you become the best possible version. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it. From the beautiful Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. Remember, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. God bless you. I love you. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. Continue to move forward each and every day. Really process the relationship if you haven't already. Please do so. And understand that where you are today is not where you will be in 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Life is dynamic. It's always moving and shifting. And one last thing, did you have to go through that relationship to get to where you are now? Yeah, you did. There was no other way, no matter what you think. Why? I'll tell you why. Because you can't change the past. Having said that, you shouldn't be living in the future. You need to live in the present moment, the right here, the right now. That is the path. You will understand the message. You will get it in time. Believe me, you will. So guys, that's it. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon, evening, and morning. I love you all, and I'll talk to you then. All right, bye.